communities, even homes. But how can you tell if they're telling the truth? Many of them are using it for marketing purposes so that they can get to sell more condominiums, more houses. So you need a green building rating system. In the Philippines, we have already others. We have the American version. We have another one where Jello is part of, the GPC. The group that I'm connected with, which is made up of 8 professional organizations, is called the Philippine Green Building Initiative. Now, what are the challenges? Okay, sustainable building cities need support from the community and government, and cross-collaboration between and among design disciplines to integrate respective intelligence and thus amplify their potency. I'm mentioning this because Manila, at least in the Philippines, Manila is a punching bag of many people. We criticize Manila, right? Designers or non-designers. They have termed even what? Uglification of Manila, the street lights and everything. Until we get together, especially the designers, we will never be able to come up with a better Manila that we want. Of course, we cannot start from scratch like Masdar. We have to, how do you call it? Adaptive reuse. In other words, work with what we have. In the design in the coming decades must involve new ways of thinking that lead to new ways to build, produce, consume, and reuse. I'm coming down to my last slide, which is about energy modesty. I don't know if you've heard of the term. This is something I picked up in Japan in a seminar. They call it energy modesty, which means using only what you need. This is not just about energy. This is about any resource that you're using, whether it's energy, it's food, material, whatever it is. Let's use only what you want, because a sustainable city, even the designs that you use up, will not be successful if we don't use only what we want. If we waste a lot, even manufacturers, the first thing they want is don't waste, right? Imagine that on a bigger scale. If we waste, no matter how green, no matter how sustainable your city is, it'll be all useless. We have to use only what we need. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Architect De Jesus, for that very good presentation. Okay, easy now. Okay, before the Secretary of Trade Industry would join us, I'd like to request all the participants to accomplish the evaluation form before you leave the room. And submit it at the registration counter outside. The form is in your kits. Okay. We have the honor actually to have among us the Secretary of Trade and Industry. Please welcome the Honorable Secretary Gregory Domingo.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but I just wanted to express my appreciation and happiness as well that so many people participate in this kind of seminar, because this is really something we're trying to do for the Philippines, is to promote, because Filipinos are very creative, is really promote, especially among the young people, the chance to be exposed to good design. And I think there's no better learning. You can learn a lot from school, but you learn a lot more from actually seeing well-designed products. And so we're very happy that a lot of young people have been attending these seminars. And thank you for participating. And I hope that all of you become very successful designers in the future.
So we'd like to request our resource speakers to join the Secretary for a photo opportunity. We'll have question and answers after a brief. No more? So, okay, just to continue, thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you, Ms. Rosby. Again, the registration forms are, the evaluation forms are in the kit. Please give it to the registration when you leave the room. Also, we are issuing certificate of participation to all the attendees. So please claim your certificates outside. So again, we'll open the floor for question and answers. So there are mics in the middle of the room. So please state your name and the person you want to address your question to. And there, please.
Is it still on? Okay. It's actually, the question is to any of the speakers that want to answer it. I was really interested by what you were saying about urban heritage and how to look at heritage to influence product design. How do you see looking at the urban heritage to influence our urban design so our cities start to look, they're more reflective of a Filipino context? They'd address that the malls start to make the cities look like everywhere else. Aside from cultural preservation, what can we look at that we can take into the urban form that is truly Filipino?
Sir, architect, before you answer the question, I'd like to invite all the resource speakers to please take their seats in front, briefly. Sorry. Please. The hot seats. Okay, I guess the question is about urban culture and how it can be translated into design, product design, specifically, no?
No, not product design. How the same principle that he was using for heritage for product design can be used to influence urban design,
To
so the design
influence
of the
urban
cities.
design. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the question. The idea that urban heritage does reflect a bit of the culture of the city or the people is very important. You have cities like Paris that have a very strong identity anywhere in the city, but you have to remember that look of Paris, that unity, is very, very strictly and very highly regulated. In many other cities, you don't have that kind of regulation. But again, many cities do have an urban core, say a heritage core, and those areas should be heavily regulated. There's nothing we can do about malls. They're a reality. They will happen, they will grow, they will be built like this one that we're part of. And they have a life of their own, so the malls can be where they are. They can be as global as they wish to look, and they do look global. This mall next door looks no different than any mall you find in any country in the world. But what would give the city its identity would be its urban core, its heritage area, or even in Manila, you have this drive along the boulevard and you see Manila Bay. That's an iconic view. Things like those should stay.
Thank you. Any other question from the panel, please?
Good afternoon. My name is Amor, and I'm not an architect like you gentlemen are, but I'm an architect of branding and experiences, customer experiences. My question is directed to Architect Villalon. I'm part of a team that's actually working on adaptively reusing a few sites and into integrated mixed-use projects, like, for example, the Quezon Institute, with Ayala Land, among others. My question is probably a little bit naive. And then just 2 weeks ago, we were part of the team that helped support the Escolta Commercial Association and turning it into something a little more lively through retail and the arts. Anyway, my question is, how come everything that's beautiful and romantic seems to have stopped with Art Deco? I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems to have stopped there. I mean,
Anything that's beautiful and romantic has gone on, and it is even here today. It seems to be, well, it's a perception.